While playing a few Blacktop games with a weird creeper guy the other night, a trend arose that eventually reached a boiling point. What could have happened that would have me sending out a message like this? Oh boy, you done goofed up now, son. Yeah, I'm a dick. Sue me. Yo guys, this is Jared, aka the SAINTofSINS on Xbox Live, bringing you some NBA 2K13 Blacktop gameplay featuring a weird creeper guy and some random scrub we unfortunately got paired up with. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. The real douchebag I recognized going into this game was the 2K servers, as Creeper and I struggled to get into games at times. The lobby might as well be a craps table. Maybe you'll find a game with your team, maybe you'll get in without your friends in the lobby, or maybe you'll all just be stuck on a screen you can't get out of. But that's not what I want to focus on this video, because as you saw in the intro, I kindly put it to FNR Joker that perhaps his investment in this game was ill-advised because his ability to play it was like watching two quadriplegics trying to fuck. All they can do is flare their nubs around and hope for the best. Why am I so hostile to Joker here? Because he's the epitome of everything wrong with the online community, not just for this game, but for all games. The Rambo mentality that forces these people to fuck up team modes for the rest of us. But where the fuck are my manners? I'm playing with a weird creeper guy and all I can do is focus my wrath upon Joker. So let's pause for a moment to bring you up to speed. Creeper checked out my last video and heard that I kinda have this stuff figured out. A team up mode is about gasps, shock, and horror teamwork. What a novel fucking concept, eh Joker? You fucking scrub. Sorry. As you can kind of tell, I'm seeing a bit of red here, and being the bullheaded twat that I am, I just have to charge full on until I draw some blood. But yeah, Creeper wanted to hit me up for a few games on the Blacktop to kind of change things up for himself. Apparently he was running with the same people and felt that he wasn't getting the kind of experience that I could offer. And as a professional call girl, I can guarantee experience in addition to your search for satisfaction. I'll be sure to leave you my card by the end of the video. So, we tried running a few games in his lobby, just the two of us. I had tried to get Sub the Gamer involved, but he was busy with an online association draft, so unfortunately for Creeper and I, we were left to the unmerciful hands of fate, who paired us up with several players who, as I've already said before, have this Rambo mentality. This game may have been our second roll through together. I couldn't get into the matchings with Creeper in his lobby, so we had to alternate a few times to make sure we would always end up in the game together. In other words, 2K, fix your shit! So unfortunately for the both of us, because I was running the lobby, the game threw me at the point to check the ball, pulling me so far out of my element that I was not going to be in control of the paint like I would want to be. This meant we were going to have to rely upon our teammate to help us out on defensive switches, and offensively, it meant we were going to have to move the ball around some until I could get into the proper position to post up on my smaller defender. It also meant that I wasn't going to be in the proper position to try and pull down rebounds most of the time, as I would have to actually move from the foreign top of the key to my stable home under the basket. Unfortunately, Joker decided to be the dead end switch to our ball movement option. Having already played a previous game with Creeper in which we saw our teammate rarely move the ball around, we knew we'd have to ice him out at times just to keep in this game. But for me, this was like the 13th or 14th game in a row that I've seen players refuse to hit the goddamn A button. Sure, most of those games were on team up mode, but that's the problem with online team modes. Most people think they have to be the only person who gets the ball. No one else should ever touch the ball because the hobbitses are filthy creatures. And so far, the only way Joker's been able to score most of his baskets was when I cleared up the paint of the only man he needed to beat to get his layups. And look, he's had 6 touches so far without a single pass. Not a single fucking pass! Seriously, I should put more stock into my clone Kobe Bryant theory from the last video. I could make millions! But my frustrations didn't end with Joker. Oh lord, no. I've had all sorts of issues with Blacktop mode for a while now, and this game I saw some really weird things that kind of put into my mind that this game mode wasn't designed with big men in mind. As I've already told you, I'm rocking a 6'9", 279 pound, back to the basket power forward. Typically, I'm the biggest man on the court, both in height and size. But yet, I'm getting bullied around at times, and no more than in this game where I'm getting suction cupped into picks when I'm moving in the opposite direction of them. Creeper was a nice enough guy to not point out that I was complaining too often at times. That, or I'm mistakenly thinking I was complaining the entire game through, because that seems to be the only thing I do now. I don't think I've been this frustrated with something since I was watching TNA! You know what? Let me zen for a second. Let me just calm down to think of some positives to talk about. Well, for starters, Creeper's a really cool guy to just chat and play ball with. If you're not aware of his channel, you should be. This guy could use some love over there, because he's a very underrated commentator who just likes to have fun with his videos. Secondly, Creeper's a guy I can totally relate with. One of the things I noticed while we played was he's hesitant to believe in himself and his abilities. As you'll see, at times he tries to kick out instead of taking shots I felt he earned. I can relate because I've been typically the same way, hesitant to believe in my own abilities. Hell, I'm still that guy even after all of these years. That's one thing I'm going to need to work on with Creeper when we ball up in the future, getting him to be stern in his decisions to take a shot. It's great that he wants to be a pass-first point guard. I'm an expert in that field after years of being that same kind of player with that same kind of mentality. But sometimes the right decision is to shoot, and Creeper needs to work on that, as I felt he didn't take enough shots for himself. Here is a perfect example of that. He has a clear lane with only my back to slow him down, and instead of going for the easy layup, he makes things a bit more difficult by stopping and kicking to me under the rim. I know my job is to finish under there, but I felt the better option was for him to finish. I feared that a pass to me there with a crowd gathering towards the rim would put me in a better position of being stripped from steal spamming, but luckily we pulled through with our point. Again, sometimes passing isn't the right decision, but hey, it was only one night, we only got to play a few games, and we were severely handicapped by having teammates that just refused to spread the ball around to find the better looks. With a third man to rely upon for these kinds of nights of pickup, I think Creeper and I could really roll over some of these people on the blacktop. Again, I feel the better balance is having a point that can move the ball around effectively, a reliable shooter, and a big man to clean up the boards. But there's no balance if one of the players never even thinks to pass the ball. I get that some people feel they can open up lanes or free themselves for a good look, but sometimes the better option is to move the ball around and keep the defense on its heels instead of letting them plant and communicate how to attack the ball or box out for the defensive rebound. When you give your opponents a chance to set up their defense, you take away your options to run a proper offense. One way to disrupt the defense is moving the ball around effectively and being effective at moving without the ball. And that's what drove me nuts about Joker here. Not only did he not move the ball around, he didn't effectively move without the ball. The other thing that you may have noticed at times was his poor defense, in which he never switched off to help out and pick up the ball handler, or his want to crowd the paint where I'm patrolling at all times. So throughout the game, almost immediately I called out to Creeper that we needed to ice this guy out of the game as often as we could. Joker was killing us on both sides of the ball, but he wants to delusionally call himself the best on the court when he's chucked up 11 shots and maybe made 5 of them. Hell, I think 4 of his misses were really ugly contested shots he had no business throwing up in the first fucking place. But he still got his shots because the only way to move the ball around was to spread it. But I knew on check I was never passing to him, which made us look one-dimensional and made things predictable at the start of our offense. It made defending us a lot easier, because we knew we had to keep the ball out of Joker's hands, otherwise he would just shoot the fucking thing. And between Creeper and I, moving the ball between us meant they could slag off of Joker to pressure me on the post for a double team, or pressure Creeper on his movement to force a pass. And the way Joker was firing shots, I really didn't expect him to drop a lot of points for us. Hell, I wouldn't want him dropping a whole lot of points for us, because it would leave him to thinking he was actually helpful by ignoring his teammates and just playing hero ball. I'm sure he's a special kind of kid who thinks that him dropping 70+ points on his pro difficulty my career is going to make him a better player. I'm sure he's also the kind of special person that thinks paint chips is a really good brand of potato chips. So we end up losing this game on a heat check shot, and as you can see, Creeper only took 2 shots when he really earned about 5. I got out rebounded because I was mostly out of position, and Joker... Not a single fucking pass!